Hey everybody, what's going on? We're going to do a quick updated video on the handheld portable radios that we carry around. Since the last video I did, there have been some changes, so this is just an update. Anything that is a significant change, we will go over. Otherwise, we're just going to drive on. All right, to start, what you're looking at is PD1 dispatch. It's channel 1 because the knob right here is on channel 1, as you can see. PD dispatch is the name of the channel. This is our internal trunking system. This is the best channel to use while you're working here at RMR. It has a range of about 2 miles. You can get to the Jewel Clinic roughly and still be able to communicate with dispatch, but it's not the greatest. So that's about the farthest range that you can go. You definitely cannot get to Claremont. It's too far and too much interference with trees and houses and all that fun stuff in between. Couple of things here. We have channel 2, so when we tell you to go to channel 2 for when you're running your license plates, you want to go to PD clear, as in clearance channel, to clear license plates or driver's licenses. That way we're not clogging up the main dispatch channel with a bunch of voice traffic when somebody else may be trying to get through for code gray, code yellow, or some other emergent reason. And then we have the PD TAC 1 channel, which is what we should use if we're doing training. We use the TAC channel. We could also use the TAC channel during real-world events that we don't want to, once again, clog up the main dispatch channel. And we also have a TAC 2 channel. And this one has a supervisor channel. It's only programmed into the supervisor radios. And then we have FMS 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you need to get a hold of FMS for anything FMS related, you find the fence lying on the ground or something that you need to go direct with FMS because it needs immediate attention, you could call on FMS 1, and they monitor that like their dispatch channel. There's a biomed channel. This is the biomed channel, so if you need to get a hold of biomed, I would suggest calling FMS. They're not always monitoring the biomed channel. Then we have safety. Safety used to be their own entity. They have their own frequency, but once again, they like to monitor the main FMS channel. So if you need to get a hold of safety, try the FMS 1. Disaster 1 is being used by the screeners right now, and Disaster 2 is being used by the Bravo cart guys driving around. So if you need to get a hold of them, you can get a hold of them on Disaster 2. All call, if for whatever reason we need to do a call all the channels at one time, we can do that from here. And then you have the local repeater, which does not function right now because the frequency is being used by the trunk, but we can turn it on if the trunk ever fails, and we'll have a local repeater that will just repeat stuff basically on the footprint of RMR. It's not as powerful as the trunk is. And then the talk around channel, which is line of sight, point to point, which actually is not too bad. I tested it with emergency management on the second floor of Building A, and I was able to make it all the way down to the pharmacy lobby area before we weren't able to talk anymore. So you can actually get some pretty good distance using that if we needed to. So there's that. There's your channels. Everything you wanted to know about Zone A. Zone B, Zone Up, you have your 1 VA Denver PD, which is your state channel 1, and then 2 VA Denver, which is your state channel 2, which is where Colorado Springs and Pueblo operates on. And then you start having all your mutual aid channels and all of that. This is all the same from what I have mentioned before, with the exception of you have your Colorado Springs and Pueblo repeater on here now. So if you find yourself down there and the state channel isn't working, you can flip over to one of these and you'll have comms with the guys down there in Colorado Springs or Pueblo. All right, so that's pretty much it as far as changes on channels, or talk groups is what they're technically called. The other big change is that in my last video, this orange button right here was described as the scan button. We no longer have the scan button. We decided it was a really bad idea. It's just too easy to end up on the wrong channel and be calling for help or something like that. So this is now your duress button. All it takes is 1/10 of a second to press this button, and it will set your duress button off. What that does is that it locks the microphone open on your handheld for 10 seconds. So if you are in fact under duress and you manage to hit that button, just start talking. Don't worry about keying up your mic, and dispatch will be able to hear what you're saying. That's a good thing and a bad thing, because if you accidentally press your duress button and it locks your mic open and you're in the process of talking some trash about somebody, it's going to air it to everybody. And dispatch gets this really loud alarm down there to let them know that it's in duress, and it tells them what radio it tells. If I hit mine, it would say VAPD 103 down there, and they would know that it was my radio, which is why it's important that we take our own radios and not somebody else's, because if you take somebody else's and then we get a duress and then we start asking the supervisor, well, 103 is duress was going off, but 103 isn't working today, well, then who's in duress? So it's important that you use the radio that's assigned to you. This still locks the screen so that you can't accidentally do any of that, and I highly recommend you use that, because with this thing bouncing around on your belt, it is very easy for one of these buttons to get pushed, and then all of a sudden you're on a different channel. And then you have the switch up here, which is still the same, the A, B, and C. I don't know if you can see that or not. Try and see that. But the A, B, and C, that's a manual way of doing the zone up and zone down. You only get 3 options, though, A, B, and C. If you need to get to D to talk to fire, you're going to have to use this right here. Okay, I did forget a couple things that I wanted to go over with you guys as far as functionality of the radio. Some of the things that I've seen. First of all, your antenna is very important. We don't want to wrap anything around the antenna, especially the cable. All that does is interfere with the signal coming out of your antenna. And I know we have a lot of people that complain about our radio comms sometimes. So anything that you can do to not interfere with the radio is important. The other thing that I've noticed is that guys are upset because they can't transmit on their portable radio while they're sitting in the car. Well, let's think about that for a minute. You got your antenna here sandwiched between your body and the seat of your car. So this is basically a 5-watt radio. And 3 or 4 of those 5 watts are getting absorbed by your body and the car seat when you're sitting on it, because if you wear it on your backside like most guys do, the whole thing is sandwiched, so you're not getting any signal out of the radio. So it's imperative when you're sitting in your patrol cars to use the patrol car radio, and that's beneficial for 2 reasons. The farther away you are from a repeater tower, the better it is to use the vehicle radio, because the vehicle radio is between 40 and 50 watts, so much more powerful transmission getting out, versus the 4 to 5 watts on your handheld radio. And then if you're sitting on it and your body is absorbing that energy, because that's what radio waves are, energy, then it's not going anywhere. So you have to think about your position. Why are you not getting radio comms on your handheld? Well, you're sitting on it. Where are you standing at? What is your relation to the nearest repeater tower? I'm not expecting you to know where all the repeater towers are at, but it's a consideration that you have to take. And if you remember, to check which, we'll go to the state system. To check which repeater you're on, you just hit this double square button down here, and it'll tell you Smoky. We're on the Smoky Hill repeater. And then right below that, it tells you your signal strength. So 131 is the signal strength. That's great signal strength for Smoky Hill. And then if we decided that that was not great signal strength and we wanted to try a different repeater, you press and hold that button down. It says scanning site. It looks for another site. Now we're at site 52. Much less signal there. But we forced it to another site because we told the radio, hey, you know what? Smoky Hill's not all that great right now. So I hold it down, I force it again, it'll probably go back to Smoky Hill. Nope, zap. Don't even know where that's at. But once again, another repeater. Try again. Ooh, Franktown, look at that. See, we're just rolling through all the repeaters that are available nearby. Thornton. Squaw. Wow, that's Smoky. Back to Smoky. That's the best signal that we got. So there's that. Also, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is the hand mic situation. I think I've got one right here, actually. No, I don't. So when speaking into your radio, you need to make sure that your mouth is pointed towards the microphone on the radio, which on the handheld itself is this piece right here. If you're talking over or around the microphone, it's going to be a very faint sound. The radio is going to think that you are in a very quiet environment, and the return volume that you're going to get is going to be very quiet regardless of how high your volume is turned up. And that is for tactical situations, and it's designed that way so that you can whisper into your radio, and the volume that you get back from dispatch is not going to be so loud that it lets all the criminals in the area know that exactly where you are. It's going to be soft, quiet return. So if you want normal volume, then you need to speak normally and directly into your microphone. I can't emphasize that enough. And then, of course, in loud environments, you're going to yell, and it's going to raise the gain on the radio so that it returns the volume at a much higher intensity. So if there are any questions about any of this, please let me know. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody.